Hello and welcome to another edition of Autocar India's Quick News, your weekly updates on all those big launches, all the hot news and all the hot scoops right here in the world of automobiles. Let's start off though on a somber note. It's been another dismal month for the Indian auto industry in terms of sales. So let's have a look at those figures for June 2019.
Overall sales dropped 12.34%, while passenger car sales dropped 17.54% as compared to the same month last year. And the same gloom swept the two-wheeler segments too, which was down by 11.69%. With the election results announced in May 2019 and June being the first full month of sales post that announcement, most expected an upturn of sales. Sad news is that they are still waiting. The budget didn't help much either. The auto industry also expected a tax cut for a temporary phase to boost sales, but instead, fuel prices went up. EVs, however, are being promoted with a reduction of GST from 12 to 5%. While it is a good move, there isn't a structured plan yet to transition to EVs. Where really is the infrastructure? And no, we're not talking about charging stations, we're talking about electricity 24/7. For example, Bhiwandi, a large industrial hub outside Mumbai, still doesn't have it. But before we move on, do remember to hit our subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest uploads.
Now with the union budget pushing EVs right on cue, India got its first electric SUV. Hyundai has launched the Kona Electric in India, and the big figure, of course, is that range, 452 kilometers of it, and the price too.
The Kona Electric will be sold in India as a CKD and gets an introductory pricing of 25,30,000 rupees. The Kona is approximately the size of the Creta. The version sold in India is a 39.2 kWh variant with power figures from the electric motor rated at 136 horsepower and 395 Nm of torque. Charging time for the Kona is rated at 57 minutes to 100% from a DC fast charger. Hyundai will provide a home charger with the EV and also install charging stations at its dealerships for customers. Along with this, the Korean brand will also install EV charging points at select Indian oil petrol pumps in certain Indian cities. You can watch the full review on our channel. But that's not the only new Hyundai which will be launched this year. The other big launch is the updated Grand i10 that is expected to make its debut on the 20th of August. The new Hyundai Grand i10 is expected to get a much larger grille, new fluidic design, sharper headlamps and new tail lamps. It would also get a part digital and part analog instrument cluster and an 8-inch infotainment screen, which will feature Hyundai's Blue Link connected car tech. Under the bonnet will be a set of BS6 ready petrol and diesel engines.
It's been years since Renault launched the Duster in India originally, and now it's got a second midlife facelift.
The Duster gets a new grille, new bumpers, projector headlamps with LED DRLs as expected on an update along with a new set of wheels. The Duster facelift also gets a raised bonnet as a part of the new pedestrian safety norms. On the inside, the updates include a new steering wheel and an upgraded infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The engines remain the same 1.5 petrol and diesel as before. The Duster is the most affordable SUV in its segment with prices starting from 7,99,000 rupees. While the Duster receives an update, there will also be a new car from Renault, which of course is the Triber that we've already talked to you about, which will be launched at the end of August. The first look at the Triber is up on our YouTube channel for you to see what it is all about. And for those eagerly waiting for the Kia Seltos, they have also announced that the bookings will start online on July 15th. What we also know is that Kia's second offering in India will be the Carnival. It will be on display at the Auto Expo 2020. The Carnival is extremely versatile and has a variety of seating configurations and can carry from 7 to 11 passengers. It will get a 2.2-litre diesel engine. It is larger than the Innova and you can expect it to be priced above it too, we think around the 30 lakh rupee mark.
Now Maruti Suzuki is all set to launch a new 6-seater that's based on the Ertiga from the Nexa chain of premium dealerships. Now we have a little bit more information on that. Let's take a look.
While this new 3-row vehicle is based on the Ertiga, sources say that it will have a new look with raised suspension, plastic claddings and a large chrome grille. Other changes will include a set of LED headlamps with LED DRLs. The car will also get only a 1.5-litre petrol engine and there will be no diesel option at all. On the interior, the middle row bench seat will be replaced by 2 captain seats while most other parts will be shared with the Ertiga. What will be interesting to see is how Maruti position it, as a more upmarket Ertiga or as a rival against SUVs like the newly launched Duster, the Hyundai Creta and the upcoming Kia Seltos.
Staying on people carriers for a bit, and last week we told you about the Hexa from Tata Motors being phased out in favor of the 7-seat version of the Harrier, which of course is called the Buzzard as of now. But it isn't done just yet. the Bangladesh Army has just placed a massive order of 200 cars.
Tata Motors announced that they have won an order from the Bangladesh Army for supplying 200 units of the Tata Hexa four-wheel drive SUV. While Tata sells the likes of the Indigo, Nexon and the Tiago in Bangladesh, the Hexa was never officially sold there. In comparison, the Indian Army uses a special armed forces version of the Safari Storm.
From people carriers to a firecracker of an SUV, it's got a Ferrari engine under the bonnet and it's got a Maserati Trident on the grille, and it's coming to India very soon. It's the Maserati Levante Trofeo.
With 590 horsepower, the Levante Trofeo, powered by the award-winning twin-turbo 3.8-litre V8 from Ferrari, can hit 100 km an hour in under 4 seconds and onto a top speed of 300 km an hour. The SUV will cost about 2.7 crores in India and will have updates like a carbon splitter and side skirts, along with dual bonnet scoops.
Now, if you like adventure bikes, the Ducati Multistrada is definitely one of the best in the market. But if you thought that the Multistrada 1260 wasn't hardcore enough, now there is an even more off-road oriented version. It's called the Enduro 1260 and it's just been launched in India.
The new Ducati Multistrada Enduro 1260 replaces the Enduro 1200 and is priced at 19,99,000 rupees, which is 2.2 lakh more than the standard bike. The Enduro gets a larger spoke wheel, bigger 30-litre fuel tank, long travel suspension and a quick shifter as standard. It is, however, slightly heavier than the standard model.
Now, the Bajaj Pulsar is one of the most important bike families in the country, and now there will be a new entry-level version. It'll have a 125cc engine.
While it is a known fact that Bajaj will bring a 125 Pulsar to India, it was the NS 125 that we all expected to make its debut. We can now confirm that it will in fact be a regular Pulsar and not the NS that will get the 125cc engine. The engine will most likely make 13.05 horsepower and 11.4 Nm of torque. Expect the bike to be priced at about 60 to 65,000 rupees.
Now, earlier this year, the World Car of the Year award went to the Jaguar I-Pace, which of course is an all-electric SUV. And now Jaguar has announced some details on the next-gen XJ. Let's have a closer look.
As the final XJ from the current generation rolled off the line, Jaguar has confirmed that the next generation XJ will only be an EV. The XJ will be built in the UK at the Castle Bromwich factory. JLR had already announced that it will launch hybrid cars in India by the end of 2019 and the I-Pace will make it to India by 2020. Once the next generation XJ breaks cover next year, expect it to make it to India in the future too.
Now, earlier this year, Bentley cut a birthday cake with 100 candles on it. Yes, it is a century-old automaker now, and the VW-owned British automaker has celebrated that century by showcasing its newest EXP car, the very aptly named EXP 100. The 19-foot long and nearly 8 feet wide EXP 100 GT is purely a concept and will not be put into production, and according to Bentley, imagines what an ultra-posh GT would be like in 2035. The stunning car has a grille made out of 6,000 LED filaments separated by slim pieces of copper, while the headlamps are an absolute work of art. Of course, keeping with tradition, the flying bee on the bonnet has stayed as is. And it's not just a pretty body. The car packs a 1500 Nm battery powertrain, enough to propel the EXP 100 GT from 0 to 100 in just 2.5 seconds and onto over 300 km per hour. The electric concept also has a range of over 700 km. And finally, the government, in an effort to cut down accidents that happen through tyre failure, has suggested new regulations for tyre manufacturers in India. Let's have a closer look.
These new regulations will include using a mix of silicone into the rubber compound, a process that is said to improve tyre quality, and making it mandatory to use nitrogen in tyres instead of air to help maintain pressure better.
And that's all the news we have for you this week. As always, do remember to leave your opinions in that comment section below and tell us what you felt about all those new cars and bikes. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.